and Michael Mills and him coming together there. And, well, did they engineer the score? Did they be patient?
Yeah, I thought Cormac Donnelly now would have come trotting over to have a crack at this, Paddy, because he has got it, but he's staying well away from it, and Galbally are going to work a short one instead.
They're going to try and work something special here, perhaps. Conor Quinn. It's been really entertaining stuff here. Back it comes to Daniel Kerr. Kerr out to Rafferty. Rafferty from distance. Rafferty has found the target.
What a score. That's his fourth from play, Paddy, from wing half back, and we know the quality that Liam Rafferty has. But he may just well have kicked the most important point in his young career, because that could be the one that gets Galbally over the line. With about 3 minutes left, Pomeroy are not letting this go, and they're coming again looking about that equaliser. What a game we've had, Paddy.
Brilliant stuff here. We thought perhaps it was going to be one of those war of attritions that sometimes happens when you have two neighbouring teams, two teams perhaps that know each other inside out. We certainly haven't had that. It's been entertaining stuff, and really end to end, particularly in the second half. 10 points to 7. The men from Galbally led at half time. It is now a single point lead. That score from Rafferty coming there just at a crucial moment.
That's a massive error there now, unfortunately, for young York and McBride. The fist pass just put him in bother. It meant he had to go to the ground with the touch, and Fergal Ward, the referee, is blown him for touching on the ground. That gives Galbally possession, and the onus is really on Pomeroy to push up right now. They have an extra defender back here in Denver Nugent, which means that Galbally have an extra player, and they can keep ball for as long as they want, as long as they're safe, because Pomeroy have got to force this turnover, and they're trying to put a bit of pressure on the goalkeeper here, Liam Macaulay, but he's done well, he's found that man.
And a wee clip of the heels there.
I think that's a minimum of black, and it could well be a straight red for Mickey Mills there.
Yeah.
That's a really, you know, that's a daft challenge, and again probably out of frustration.
Some tension on that bench, Mark, isn't there? There's sometimes black card.
That's a black. So at least Pomeroy do get the opportunity to bring somebody in for him, I suppose. But we're now down to the last couple of minutes, and it's really down to game management here from Galbally. This will kill Pomeroy's momentum and any chance they had of getting another score. Pomeroy have to push man for man and hope that they can in some way get possession, because if they do get possession, they've already proved us, Paddy, that there's scores in them moving forward. Whereas if Galbally get another chance and put one over the bar, Pomeroy then have to go for the goal. So this particular play, and it's Enda McGarty on the end of this free kick here, he needs to find a Galbally man. They need to work a score, and with number 24, Michael Murphy, the former Tyrone player, who's back in the country now playing for him. He's just come out to win this ball here now.
He's not a bad man to be bringing in, is he,
it's all right. There's been worse subs used, Paddy.
You're right, there has. Here he goes now, Murphy, of course, and well, has done so much to this club, as is this man, Rafferty. Lays it out this near side to Nugent. Nugent takes a touch, takes a solo. He's going to hold on to the ball. We've played 64 minutes. We're into the last minute of additional time here in the LCC Group Tyrone Intermediate Football Final. Just a single point between the sides. Galbally have the advantage, but they need to be cautious. They cannot afford to give the ball away, and they're in a dangerous territory now to do that. The ball comes back inside again, picked up out this near side by Nugent, and they have to try and work the ball up the park. They're in dangerous territory. Heavy hit there on the number 4, Shea Hurson, goes to ground. The referee wants the play to continue. He's going to have a word with
scared McGarry, Paddy, and you can see what he was trying to do. He recognised they needed to force a turnover. He's picked up a yellow there now, and again that eats into the time. We're now, 15 seconds left on official time. These couple of injuries maybe will mean that there's one more play possibly.
Another minute maybe,
yeah,
Mark.
But time is really running out, and Galbally have been very sensible on the keep ball here. They just got to be so careful.
Well, it goes back the whole way to their goalkeeper there, and Blaine Nugent down this near side, encouraged to put the ball up the park again, but he's running into trouble. He will try and hold on to the ball. All eyes on referee Fergal Ward. He's looked at the watch now on 2 occasions. A quick glance of it again, perhaps, as the play comes down through the centre here. Galbally have to hold on to the ball. They lead 18 points to 114. They will try and maybe engineer an insurance point. Donnelly, who's been so good here this afternoon. The ball out to Rafferty. It would be fitting perhaps if he got a score on this final day. They've never won the intermediate title. Back it comes on that far side again to Daniel Kerr. Daniel Kerr, more hits and
what
hope.
A score, Paddy.
Has that went over the bar? It has went wide.
Now,
but
the crucial decision here, Paddy, is does this kick out get away? If it does, Pomeroy have a chance. If it doesn't, they don't.
The referee said there was a substitution.
So he's allowed a substitution. So the likelihood is, Paddy, he's going to give them one more kick out. It's unlikely that Fergal Ward will blow the match up after allowing a change. So Pomeroy really have one play to save their championship final here.
What tension, the referee looks at the whistle again, looks at his watch, he's going to blow this whistle. He has he? No, I thought he had blown the final whistle there for a split moment. Carberry, a late replacement on here, brought in the latter stages of this encounter. Down the ball comes this near side once again. The referee awards a free kick. Donnelly underneath this one. Donnelly has been fouled. They'll slow things down. They'll try and methodically work the ball up the park once again. Donnelly can't afford to give the ball away, and Galbally are the champions. They have beaten Pomeroy 18 points to 114. What an epic battle it's proved to be, but we've seen a wee bit of history here this afternoon. They did start as favourites for the championship, Mark. Without doubt, their league performances have been superb. They were the top scorers in the championship all the way through, and they've lived up to that billing, but by God, they were pushed all the way by a very good Pomeroy side.
Absolutely. You pay tribute to Pomeroy for making an unbelievable final of it. They just did not let that go, but you have to take your hat off to Galbally as the Healy Park surface just turns into a wash of blue and white here. What a victory for them. Not this young team. They have been touted from quite a while back, Paddy, as the up-and-coming force. They were disappointed, I know, to lose their senior status, a bit like Pomeroy too, but they've sat as favourites really for this title from day one, and they have handled the favourites tag extremely well. And when Pomeroy did put it to them, and boy did they put it to them, with Frank Burns' goal leaving it level as we went into injury time, you were thinking, are the cracks going to start to appear now? But you have to give massive credit to that man in the picture, Liam Rafferty. He's been congratulated by his brother Paul there, seeing what a day for the Rafferty family. But Liam Rafferty stepped up and kicked his 4th point from play from a really, really tight angle. And in the end, that is a historic point for him, and one that has got Galbally to their first ever intermediate Tyrone title, Paddy. And there's going to be a serious party in the hills tonight.
Absolutely. That's their first adult title since 1958, Mark.
Yeah,
long before me or you.
It's massive, and I see, the amount of buggies you see being pushed in here, Paddy, and old people coming in as well. I mean, there's been a drought in Galbally, there's no doubt about it. They've produced good enough players to win something of significance before this, and they've had to wait a long time. And is this now the watershed moment? Is this now what opens up that we see more Galbally teams on the end of games and county finals in Healy Park, Paddy, celebrating like this? Because there's no doubt they have the structures in place, they have perfect facilities, they have a good GEA club there in terms of tradition and population. They have now a team they believe in. They're now proven winners, and who's to say whenever the celebrations do die down, Paddy, that they won't go on and do what Pomeroy did 3 years ago, I suppose, and other teams in Tyrone have done as well, and give the Ulster club a real rattle as well. And I suppose as Tyrone champions, we have to wish them all the very best for that competition where they go and represent us.
So much belief in this Galbally side, and we joked earlier on about Kevin talking about the success and the potential from a team at under 10, under 14, under 16, minor and at under 21 level. And here we go. They've booked their place in the Ulster campaign with the first ever Tyrone intermediate football title. They deserved it, there's no doubt about that. They were the top scorers in the championship in those 2 early rounds. They set the benchmark for everybody else. They were pushed all the way by Greencastle, and they were pushed all the way here to this afternoon. They got off to such a slow start here. They were, 4-0 down before they got going. And it was remarkable, but well, end-to-end stuff. I think we may have John Moylan on the far side there talking to someone, I think, over to Eugene on the far side, where we'll hear from John Moylan.
With us here, the victorious Galbally Pearses manager and his young daughter here. And John, what does it feel like to be a Galbally man today, winning your first intermediate championship in Tyrone?
It's hard to put into words. It's the most wonderful experience. I've worked hard for this all year. My mind was geared towards this day from the start, and you daren't see it, you're afraid to see it, but I knew I had a panel good enough, and they were just tremendous today. It's wonderful for our community. 61 years is too far to wait. There's people, Galbally people all over the world that are missing home today. It's for them people that failed before. It's wonderful. I'm delighted.
Absolutely, John, and you've summed it up there perfectly. That's what it means to a community like Galbally that's so strong in the traditions of the GA, and today it's all about them and the victory here. But at times there, the way Pomeroy came out of the blocks, they went ahead, they went 4 points up, you didn't panic, you had a great purple patch towards the end of the half, and you finished strong, and then you took over in the second half.
Well, anyone who knows their football around Tyrone knows there's nothing between Pomeroy and Galbally. There was 2 games last year. They're nip and tuck, and I expected nothing less today. I was worried at the start. I think nerves got a hold of us. Maybe half time came too short, quick for us then because we were flying. But I thought they were immense in the second half. We started extremely well. Yes, we had a wee patch where they came back at us. Goal probably should never have gone in. It was a lack of concentration. But the way we controlled the game for the last 3 minutes, I thought was just incredible. It's a mark of how good these footballers are.
And I think you summed up there earlier about the character of this team. You had real leaders out there today that really dug deep when they needed to. That inspirational point from Liam Rafferty just before half-time seemed to spark Galbally into a whole new phase of attack and dynamic.
They don't know when they're beaten. We haven't been beaten. You tell me, Eugene, I don't know, you're a better man at stats than I am, how many people go through the league and to this stage of the season unbeaten. No, I appreciate we've games to go, but I'll worry about that for another day. I'm so proud of them. I thought they played very smart, intelligent football at times, and they were patient, and they did everything I'd asked for them. Everything I asked of them boys this year, they did it and more on top. I'm immensely proud of them.
And I'm sure, John, days like this don't come around too often, and I'm sure Galbally community will celebrate for a few days to come, and all the Galbally exiles across the world will enjoy this moment.
For anyone watching away, I know Mickey Donaghy's in Boston, and there's people in Dubai. Brian Maguire's in Australia. I know you're watching. Emer Talley, who helped us out with physio. It's for all of you guys. It's for everyone that's away from home, and by God, they'll enjoy it. And aren't they entitled?
Yes, I think we've had it, the emotion here, we've had the excitement from the winning manager of the Galbally Pearses, their first title at intermediate championship level in 61 years, and on behalf of Tyrone TV, I want to wish you all the best and enjoy your weekend. Na
61 years from winning a junior title, actually, Eugene, but 61 years for an adult title, Mark. That just shows the emotion and what it means to John Moylan, a man who came into the club as a player, married into the community, and as far as I can recall, having talked to John numerous times over the year for our podcast and bits and pieces, it's quite funny. He came in, his grandmother, or his wife's grandfather was the manager, I think, or was involved in the management of that team in 1958. So a great connection there to that, but it means an awful lot to these players in this club.
I mean, John's passion just came spilling out in that interview with Eugene there, but he's just summing up exactly what's felt there in terms of the Galbally people. They will be so slow to leave this pitch at the end of this game. It's unbelievable.
And rightly so.
Absolutely. These days are there to be absolutely cherished. You take every single moment of it because it does not come around. Unfortunately, there are Gaels from Galbally who have born and died tragically or whatever way they died and have not witnessed, experienced anything like this. So for those people, this is special. And I see young people going about with flags, and I see elderly as well. There's no age bracket or no limit in terms of the enjoyment for this. So even in terms of the playing panel, you know, for those young players at 19 and 20, this is huge. But you think of Michael Murphy there, for example, who spent numerous years over in London and has come home to play for Galbally. You think of the credit that Paul Rafferty is to that club. He absolutely soldiered when they were down their knees, and he dragged them through it. And you think of Kieran McCrory as well. So those three stalwarts, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple of boys there as well, but I'm not underplaying how much it means to the young players in Galbally. But those boys in their late 30s, every year, and some of them have families now and big commitments, and they probably have to get a bit of permission to go out and play and what have you. But what is it worth it, or is it worth it?
But you know, Mark, you say that, and we watched the junior game earlier on. Rock won in that one, and you have the likes of Tommy Bloomer and Kieran Gurley rolling back the years there today as well. And I think when you're playing for your club, it means an awful lot. Like, and Michael Murphy played at the highest level, played with Tyrone, of course, as well. And you know, so many of those players have played with Tyrone over the years, and so many more will play with Tyrone. But when it comes down to it, the brass tacks, it's that East Tyrone enclave there in the middle of the mountains up around Pomeroy and Galbally where it all matters, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just the uplift that gives a community. You can't put a price on that, Paddy. And what they've done is they've inspired other generations of Galbally players to come through, 14, 16s and even younger, that Galbally teams now go to county finals and win them. So they'll not only cherish tonight, it'll mean so much to the older generation to have gone through maybe the barren spells. But for these young people now making their way over to watch Sean Murphy lifting the Paddy Cullen Cup, this is something that will stand to them. You talk about Tyrone teams now and being inspired by the All-Ireland winning teams. Well, it's the exact same at club level. Galbally now have a winning mentality where they've taken on the 21 title a couple of years ago, and in a few seconds Michael Kerr is going to present Sean Murphy with the Intermediate Tyrone Championship, and who's to say where this run will end for them this year. The pressure's now off. They have delivered on the pressure that was on them as favourites for the championship, and now you never know where this journey ends in terms of an Ulster club run.
Absolutely. We'll cut across to get the presentation of the Paddy Cullen Cup.
Unfortunately, it wasn't to be Pomeroy's team today, but they are more than capable of being promoted back to Division 1 football through the league, and I wish you all the best in that. To your community, boys, you have a great community, you have a great year, you have raised a lot of money, and the magnificent development that's taken place in your club grounds is something to be proud of, and I wish you all the health and joy in that building, and enjoy it for years and years to come. Well done to the Pomeroy community. To Galbally, your stay in Division 2 has been a short one, and well done to you. We wish you all the best as you go on to play in Division 1 and Senior Championship football again in 2020. And I wish you even more luck as you represent all of the clubs in Tyrone when you go on to the Ulster Club in a fortnight's time. You play a lovely brand of football, and you're more than capable of going the whole road. And all the best to every one of you. Finally, it's a privilege to present the Paddy Cullen Cup to the joint captains of the 2019 LCC Tyrone Intermediate Championship, Sean Murphy and Enda McGarden. Here we are. Now, firstly, obviously, thanks to Brian. Brilliant game. I'm sure you can put through the league and we'll get another battle again next year, but honestly, boys, serious battle again, and well done to you. A lot of people to thank, boys. I can't do it all today. Firstly, and probably most importantly, our management team. John Moylan, Mindy O'Hagan, Kevin Kelly, Tony Kelly, Petey Murphy, Larry Murphy. Lads, you have transformed this club. You have transformed what it means to be a Galway man. And we couldn't be prouder of you, boys. Well done. The players, lads, 45 or whatever it is of you, these are absolutely unbelievable. The commitment you have put in from near enough this time last year, I have never been involved in anything like it. Boys, I don't even know what to say about these, are unbelievable. Well done. Committee, boys, you have given us your backing all year. You know, we've wanted for nothing, whether it's food, we've stayed in our gym, anything we need, the committee looks after us. So thanks very much to you. And to the people of Galway, boys, the supporters, the volunteers, young and old, you are the lifeblood of this club. We wouldn't be here without you. And I think about Galway Gales past and present, including Mickey McGahey, Cathy McVeigh and Mary Kane. They will be proud of us here today. I'm not going to say much more. We get this cup up the road, up the Pearses. Just one more thing the boys want to say. We're going to take 1 pint for every single point that we hit in the challenge this year.
It's good. That's brilliant stuff to hear there from them two men who have given so much, Mark, for this cause as they raise aloft the Paddy Cullen Cup there. I know you just going to try and get a couple of words there. And, you know, for the likes of Kevin Kelly and for John Moylan and that whole backroom team who have worked so hard. And they bought into a plan at the start of the year, a bit like Martin Hackett and Rock earlier on, and the lads have stuck with it and they had such belief.
I think has been there's been a deadly organisation there, and the men you mentioned, they're Galbally men through and through, and then you have John Moylan adding into it with his touch of class there too. But I think the most telling thing is, Paddy, that they have been identified as championship favourites from day one, and that has not thrown them. And the profile of the team, if you take the subs include Michael Murphy and Paul Rafferty and Kieran McCrory, who started the day, but they're a young team, and sometimes that weight of expectation can dampen your performance and dampen your levels. But they have motored through Strabane and Ohajarn. They got their acid test in the semi-final against Greencastle, and again Pomeroy came back at them at the death there. So they're worthy champions, and they have absolutely earned the title of 2019 Intermediate Tyrone Football Champions, Paddy. They play a lovely brand of football, and I would expect to see more of them at senior level pushing on for honours. Well,
I think we have Sean Murphy and McGardy on the far side there now, the two captains. I think we'll be able to hand to Eugene. It's going to be very tense over there, very difficult for him to get a word in. But we'll see if we can get him over on that far side there.
These are the Tyrone Intermediate Champions, a 61-year wait. John Moylan, the manager, was speaking to me earlier. The emotion, the raw tension that he had in getting across the line, boys. How does it feel to be the Tyrone champions?
Unbelievable. This club isn't used to days like this. We're going to relish this one. We really are. I don't know how to put it into words. It's just unbelievable, Eugene.
And yourself, Sean?
As Enda said, it's 5 minutes to go, and Pomeroy hitting the goal. You just fear the worst, but because of days going by. But there's a new breed of Galbally players, and you know, unbeaten, I think it has to be said. These teams that don't know when to quit. Could have been out in the semi-final, could have been beating against the Har last week. These are a different breed of Galbally boys, and I think me and Andrew just coming more proud of them, and John and all the boys.
And to be honest, boys, there's real leaders out there right across the team today. Everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody showed what it was meant to wear the blue jersey today.
That's it. As I said, as Enda said, look, these boys have won under 21 championship, and it's something different. This is a different pedigree of Galbally boys.
See it there, and it was always going to be difficult for Eugene in the middle of that. It's good to see, isn't it?
That image there, Paddy, that's the one that'll be on their mantelpieces until the day they die. They wanted to be in that team photo, and I totally understand them breaking up. I know it didn't work out too well for us here, but breaking up at an interview, there'll be loads of time for words after. But
right.
That's the one that gets framed. That's the one with the cup and all the boys and all the youngsters around it. It'll be on mantelpieces throughout.
That's the one you don't want to miss
forever, exactly. And you don't want to be superimposed in, or people saying where was he. Well, they know where they were, and the two captains have been. The joint captains have been central to this success this year, and there was no way they were going to miss that opportunity.
Well, Mark, thank you very much for being part of a wee bit of history for us here today, as Galbally lifted their first ever intermediate title and their first adult title in 61 years with a narrow 1-point victory over Pomeroy Plunketts. Earlier on, Rock had 3 points to spare over the men from Kildress. All the neighbours together here today. Two of them going up the road celebrating, two of them going up the road disappointed, but that is championship football. We're back here next week with Tyrone TV Live in association with Todd's Deep as we bring you live coverage of the men from Trillick up against Errigal Kieran. We'll not put Mark in the spot and ask him how that one's going to go. Jared Tracy and the boys will be here next week with that one. A big thank you to Eugene McConnell. Thanks to Damo here as well for helping us out with statistics all through the afternoon. Damien Harvey and Pascal McConnell for coverage of the first game, and of course all the guys behind the scenes, the technical men from Mac AV, who have once again produced the goods for us here at Healy Park. That's it for coverage today here of the Tyrone LCC Group Intermediate and Junior Football Finals. Thank you so much wherever you are for watching us this afternoon.